I remember when I was writing my matric, the scripts that we were writing during matric had two languages. The script was written in English and then in Afrikaans. So when I was writing, I used to wonder, so there are some kids out there who are writing right now, and they are writing the very same paper that I'm writing, but they are writing it in their home language. They are writing this physics in Afrikaans. And then, Tina, we can't write this physics in isiZulu or isiNdebele or isiSwati or whatever. Why? Why is it that Afrikaans is the only language that is allowed to those learners can write in their home language?
Nothing anymore that the DA and any other party in that government of national unity, whatever they are going to sell you, tell you, or try and propaganda you, today there's only one thing I want South Africa to listen, and that is that document is signed. Hy's geteken. Shame on you. If you are today a DA member, if you are today any member of the ANC or a member of any party in the government of national unity, I want you to hear today, you failed us today. You failed us. Sis, my oma sou sê, het julle nie skaamte nie. Now you can tell me the absolute rubbish that you tried, that you boycotted, that you objected. Listen, luister, julle praat gemors. Absolute twak. You failed. On record, Helen Zille, the Secretary General or whatever you call her of the DA, I know you. You said on record that the Bella Bill is an absolute non-negotiable. So too the NHI, so too the draconian anti-terror law, so all the other 133 laws that bring back reverse apartheid. You were there. I'm upset. Ek is nie upset nie. Ek is te tolerant. Because you lied. The parties in the G.N.U should be shockingly dipping your hands in the sand today. You sold us out. You went through an election telling us that we would never have an ANC government again, and when you started to negotiate with the enemy, I, the president of the UIM, withdrew from the multi-party charter. I left you, en toe het ek vir julle gesê, julle moet hoor my voor my Here, ek gaan vir julle bliksem elke dag as julle ons uitverkoop. Daar's hy, 13 September, Vrydag, 2024 het julle ons uitverkoop.
Well, on other interesting news, my beautiful South Africans, our president, Mr. Ramaphosa, has finally signed the Bella Bill, despite protests from other parties that make the G.N.U and from other individuals and other outside parties. There were protests throughout the week, protesting this whole Bella situation. Our president shouldn't sign that bill because in fact, let me not say most, but some political parties who form the G.N.U are against this Bella Bill. But despite that, our president decided he's going to sign that bill. He doesn't care what the DA says, because the DA even threatened to leave the G.N.U, but that didn't shake our president. Other parties also threatened to leave the G.N.U. Other parties saying that they are going to take legal measures, they are going to take the president to court and things like that. But despite everything, all these protests, our president decided, no, I am going to do what I said I'm going to do, and I am going to sign this bill. And he actually signed it. So to my viewers, maybe you are one of my viewers, ongazi what this Bella Bill contains, or what is it that a lot of white people are fighting for, this bill shouldn't be signed. But it's signed anyway, but they were protesting it shouldn't be signed. So what I'm going to do now, if maybe you don't know, I'm going to read, just it doesn't take long, I'm going to read for you what the Bella Bill contains. And then when you will tell me, Out of these things that the Bella Bill contains, do you think the DA and these other political parties who are against the Bella Bill, ikhalazo zabo are justified, or they are just nje balwela into enganamsebenzi? I'm going to read here and then you will tell me ukuthi, do you really think this is not a bill that can actually be good for South Africa? Don't you think this is a bill that can actually benefit our education system? Or you think vele it is right ukuthi people and the other political parties were right to protest this bill? So let me just read for you quickly here. Okay, so the first thing that the Bella Bill contains, let me read for you. Making grade R compulsory. The Bella Bill proposes to make grade R compulsory start of school. Grade R, which currently forms part of early childhood development, will expand to 7,888 schools under the new mandate. Well, this one is pretty simple. It just says that grade R will be mandatory. And personally, I don't see a problem with that. I don't see how grade R can be bad for our school systems, because siyazi ukuthi it wasn't compulsory. If uyafuna umntwana wakho bongamqalisa nje ka grade 1 mawuthanda, but manje is going to be compulsory ukuthi aqale kwa grade R. So I mean, I don't think that's a problem. So let's move on to the second one. The second one, criminalizing parental negligence in school attendance. In addition to making grade R compulsory, the bill seeks to criminalize parents who fail to ensure their children attend school, with potential jail time as a consequence. It also states that anyone disrupting school activities is liable to a maximum of 12 months in prison. Even now, this one I think is pretty straightforward. Ukuthi, it's going to be illegal kahle kahle for you as a parent ukuthi umntwana wakho angayi esikolweni. Yabo, if umzali, you have a child that should be in school and your child is not in school, it's most likely that you are going to get arrested. And I mean, I don't see a problem with that, because why isn't your child at school? School is free. You can't say you don't have money. If you don't have school uniform, there are charities that donate school uniform. Even nabomakhelwane bakho bangakwenzela plan. So you can't say maybe awunamali umntwana wakho can attend school. So mina, this one I think nayo is not really a problem to me. I don't know, maybe kwamanye abantu is a problem, but if it's a problem, tell me on the comment section ukuthi what reason would you have as a parent ukuthi umntwana wakho angayi esikolweni? That one I don't understand. So far these two engizifundile mina, I don't see a problem with that one, with these two, yabo. So if you see a problem, wena tell me. Let's move on to the third one. Home education regulation. The amendment allows the department head to conduct site visits before registering home education. It enables the Minister of Basic Education to regulate the registration and administration of home education, acknowledging the preference of some parents for homeschooling over public schooling. Even this one is pretty much straightforward. And I really don't see a problem with this one, yabo, because it simply means ukuthi homeschooling will be regulated. Yabo, the department head will visit these sites to check ukuthi is the environment conducive for homeschooling. Kanti, is that a problem? I mean, I don't think that's really a problem. Because if you want to homeschool your child, then there must be an environment that is going to allow the child to learn effectively and efficiently there. So I don't see a problem when the department comes to check at your home ukuthi la umntwana wakho afundela khona, since wena uthi ufundela ekhaya right na le ndawo afundela kiyo and uyafunda nawo kwamampela, or maybe uthi ufundela ekhaya or akafundi. So mina, that's how I'm understanding this whole thing. So abantu abaningi bathi no, this thing takes the rights from parent, what it takes the power from the parents. I don't see how this takes the power from the parents, because the department is just making sure ukuthi the homeschooling situation works for the child. You won't just say you are going to homeschool your child and then at home it's not an environment that is conducive to learning. So if uyayiphikisa lena, tell me on the comment section ukuthi wena we understand kanjani. So let me move on to the fourth one. The fourth one here, let me scroll. Okay, language policy in schools. The amendment requires school governing bodies to submit their language policies for approval. These policies must consider the linguistic needs of the broader community. Now, this one, I think abelungu abayilwela kakhulu. The Afrikaners in our country are fighting with this one kakhulu. Yabo? But this one, I really don't understand ukuthi inkinga ikuphi la, because it says ukuthi the amendment requires school governing bodies to submit their language policies for approval. Kusho ukuthi the school governing bodies should just submit ukuthi, okay, this school will be learning in these languages, and then the department must approve of those things. So if maybe a school decides to teach in isiZulu, learning in isiZulu or learning in Shivenda or whatever, then the schools will be allowed to do that if the department approves. So I don't see how this is a problem, because hiyo abantu abayilwela kakhulu, but mostly white people, even some black people are against it, but mostly white people. I don't understand why they are fighting with this one. They are calling it reverse apartheid. I don't understand why it's called reverse apartheid, because according to my knowledge, there are some schools out there who learn in Afrikaans, who learn maths in Afrikaans, who learn physics in Afrikaans. So why shouldn't other ethnic groups in South Africa learn the very same subjects in their home languages? Why? You know, this thing used to fascinate me cool when I was younger. I'm just happy Wuti now it is coming to the spotlight. It used to fascinate me a lot. I remember when I was writing my matric, the scripts that we were writing during matric had two languages. The script was written in English and then in Afrikaans. So when I was writing, I used to wonder, so there are some kids out there who are writing right now, and they are writing the very same paper that I'm writing, but they are writing it in their home language. They are writing this physics in Afrikaans. And then Tina, we can't write this physics in isiZulu or isiNdebele or isiSwati or whatever. Why? Why is it that Afrikaans is the only language that is allowed to those learners can write in their home language? So maybe these white people because now this Bella Bill is going to allow each and every school to learn in a language that is going to accommodate the broader community. Jengoba issue this amendment. So if maybe you think white people basharp tell me on the comment section when do you think white people are just being I don't know what, or this thing is reverse racism? So you tell me on the comment section down below. So let's move on to what is it? This one is the fifth one. Yeah, I think it's the fifth one. Accommodating religion in school codes of conduct. The bill proposes that school codes of conduct respect cultural and religious beliefs, including provisions for students who seek exemptions from certain code requirements. This one, I think, sharp. I don't see a problem with this thing. The school code of conduct should take into consideration there are different religious beliefs and different cultural beliefs. So if maybe, for example, you are an Islamic person in a school with a lot of Christians, they can't force you you must pray. Maybe you are praying at the assembly, you must pray to Jesus. I understand. They can't force you because you don't believe in Jesus. So that's how I'm understanding this whole thing. The school code of conduct should make sure it includes all the cultures and beliefs. It doesn't discriminate against one or force the other to act accordance to the one that the school allows. That's how I'm understanding it, and I don't see a problem with that, because if you are Islam, you should be allowed to practice your religion without being forced to practice maybe Christianity. And if you are a Christian, you are allowed to practice Christian beliefs without being forced to practice Islamic beliefs. I don't think that's a problem, because it gives you the luxury to follow your religion even in school without being afraid to you are going to break the school code of conduct and things like that. So I don't see a problem with this one. If maybe when we tell me on the comment section maybe when now. So let's move on to the last one that I'm seeing here. The last one here, and I think it's the sixth one, is ban on corporal punishment. Well, the bill reaffirms the prohibition of corporal punishment in schools, proposing fines or imprisonment for those who administer it. Well, this one has been a law in South Africa for the longest of time now. We know that corporal punishment is no longer a thing. If you are an educator, you are not allowed to share abantwana babantu. But even though even manje, but that thing is illegal. So this reaffirms that thing won't be tolerated, the corporal punishment. I don't think this one khona umuntu onenkinga nayo. If unenkinga nokuthi abothisha melanga bashaya abantwana besikolo, then you have a really big problem, because no one is allowed ukuthi alimaze omunye umuntu physically, whether it's in school or whether it's wherever. People don't learn from violence. People learn from information. So here, that's just what I'm seeing here. That's just what I'm seeing here. So this whole Bella bill, personally, I don't see a problem with it. I don't see a problem with it. Or maybe I don't understand it kahle. I don't understand it kahle. So if you think maybe angizwisisi kahle, maybe isilungu siyangishayanyana, maybe kunalanga siboni khona kahle. Try to give me clarity on the comment section. Kahle kahle, what's the fuss about? Why are white people ikakhulukazi against this thing? Because I don't see it as that much of a big deal. It's a reverse apartheid. How is this reverse apartheid? Try to give me some light. Maybe so that's just what a lot of white people are fighting against. The DA, and the other political parties. So this Bella bill is signed now. It's official. So President Ramaphosa didn't listen to the protests. He didn't listen. He said, Yazin, I am the boss and I am going to do what I said I am going to do. I won't be influenced by you. So mina, what the president did, I actually like it. So I'm not saying I like it in terms of maybe this bill is right for our country because it has been just implemented. We will see in the coming years yasebenza isharp noma kanjani. But what I say, I'm impressed by our president ukuthi he didn't back down. Let me tell you something. If our president didn't sign this bill, the DA was going to disrespect the president, and the DA was going to feel as if they are the ones who are in charge of this country. No one is in charge of this country now. This is G.N.U. The ANC is not in charge. The DA is not in charge. The G.N.U. is in charge. But if the president says he's going to do something, and then the parties come and say, no, don't do that, and then the president now, you are too, and then what is going, how are we going to trust our president? How are we going to depend on a person because abantu baya complain, because abantu they are protesting? I don't think that's a type of president that we want. Because if we are going to have a president that is influenced by everyone and everything, then we simply don't have a president. So for the fact that he stood on his ground and make sure Uguti this bill is signed, then the consequences of the bill we will face after he did what he said he's going to do, I think that's a good thing, and it shines a good light on him. Uguti, he's a man of his word, because if he didn't sign it, I don't think ngisazomthatha serious. Because why uthukwa as a president? Why uthukwa and then uqinishintsha izinto ngama last minute ekubeni uthe uyozenza? Uyayibona? So I don't know if maybe when you think Ramaphosa was wrong or Ramaphosa took the wrong decision. Tell me on the comment section down below. So that's just what I wanted to talk about today. It's very interesting, yabo. But yeah, I just want to hear you, mina ukuthi wena, what do you think about this Bella bill, yabo? So thanks for joining me today on this video. If you enjoyed this video or you learned something new, maybe you didn't know, please leave a like and then comment ukuthi wena ucabangani. If you haven't subscribed to Mzansi Versity, please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1K subscribers. You see, I'm very close, and I would really appreciate your help. Your subscription, your like, your view, your comment, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to this channel, and I really appreciate it. My name is Emmanuel, and this is Mzansi Versity, the place where we transform lives through knowledge and information. Let's meet again on another video.